everybody. Welcome to the Soulful Eclectic. I am your host, Diana Collins, and I want to welcome you um, back to this episode. If this is the first time you're visiting me, welcome. Thank you for choosing to spend your time with me. If you are returning, I want to say welcome, welcome, welcome back. And I want to thank you so much for being a part of the Soulful Tribe. And I look forward to your feedback and communication. This episode is actually featuring Princess Punzalan, who is a current friend of mine. I just met her. She's in one of my acting classes. Hailing from the Philippines. She's an actress, model, all around great person. And I wanted to talk with her because she can present a different side of not only the pandemic, but what it's like to be her and becoming her authentic self and being culturally aware of things that are happening around her. And I wanted to hear her perspective on just being her authentic self and being out there and being true. And I just love her as a person, so I wanted to share her with the community. So I have my friend, Miss Princess Punzalan, who's here with me today, which I am so thankful. And I already told you how much I appreciate you being who you are, and watching you as an actress. It's just amazing that I can literally feel the emotions and things that you put into the roles that you play. And I cry with you when you cry. It's just a beautiful thing, and not that many people can do that. And I just love that about you. So I wanted to share. I mean, you already shared with the world. I know that, but I want to share you with the Soulful Tribe community because for some reason I feel like you have a story to tell.
Yeah, my life is like a teleserie. It's like a soap opera. I'm thinking maybe someday I should write a book or something, because my life is just full of things, like dramatic moments. But yeah, I have a lot of stories to tell, and I'm just glad I'm at that point in my life where I don't have problem with shame anymore. It's like what it is what it is. It's this is the truth, and if it can help others, then I'll share it.
Absolutely. Thank you. I think we're all at that point right now, honestly, that our life is what it is, and
Hmm.
it makes us who we are. And if it didn't happen, we wouldn't be the people we are today, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So so my one question I always ask everyone
Okay.
is how did you become your authentic self? Because we all have struggles, and as you just pointed out, you've have a story, right? So how
Hmm.
did you begin that road, that path to being your authentic self that and you are?
Okay. Let me start with why I wasn't authentic before.
Hmm.
Okay, let's start with that. So as a child, my parents broke up really early on in my life. I was only 3 years old, and because of that, my mother was a single mom, and at that time there was martial law in the Philippines, and my mother had a difficulty looking for jobs, and she was out the whole day trying to hustle and get something so that we can have something to eat. And I was left with someone who didn't know how to deal with children, and she was just very, very abusive. I mean, physically and emotionally and verbally abusive. And so, as a child, I grew up with this. I experienced a long time with this person who kept telling me that you shouldn't be talking because nobody wants to hear what you have to say.
Yeah.
And children should not be heard, and just shut up, be quiet.
Hmm.
And so that the abuse and the words just made me retreat into my shell, and then just to be protective of myself. And so I couldn't really express what I really wanted to say, and I couldn't really make so much sound to let people know who I was and where I am. And then, good thing, one day my mother noticed that something was different because she came home from work, and the person who was taking care of me wasn't there. And my mom asked me, "Something's different with you. Why aren't you? Why aren't you close with me anymore? Why aren't you affectionate with me anymore?" And then I told her, "Oh, Tata," that's what I call the person who was taking care of me. Tata doesn't want me to be close with you. I don't know. And I was just so scared to speak until my mother was able to get the truth from me. And she reported it to the police, and the police took the person in custody. And I don't know what happened next. But even with that, so that started it. And then my mother became well known in the Philippines, and she was like an older sister to the people who listened to her on the radio and on TV, and she would give out advice. And so people looked up to her because of the wisdom that she imparted. So because of who she was, and I felt like there was so much pressure for me to be quote unquote nice and to be picture perfect, because my mom was a celebrity and I had to be a certain person for people to accept me, and I just couldn't be who I really was. And then my mom also was having difficulty with her own issues, and every time I had low grades in school, she would say, "Oh, am I not a good mom?" And or whenever we had problems, and she would automatically ask me, "Am I not a good mom? Why can't you do this for me?" And so it was difficult for me to really reveal the real me because I was afraid to disappoint her.
Right, the acceptance.
And yeah, so I just kept putting out a facade of who people think I should be. And so what happened was that because of my fear of disappointing my mother, at one point I got into a situation where I didn't know what to do, because I got pregnant as a teenager and I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to let her know that I was in that situation, because she would just, oh my gosh, she would just be super disappointed, and I had to handle it on my own.
Right.
And so I had the baby aborted because the boy wouldn't stand up for it. And then that really haunted me for a long time in my life.
Yeah.
And I started to really hate myself, because it just was an echo inside my head and I couldn't forgive myself. And then, so fast forward, I got married. This is my second marriage. I got married to Jay, and we wanted to start a family. I couldn't get pregnant. And for many years, we battled with infertility. And over, in my mind, I was thinking, am I being punished?
Right.
So it's painful to think about, oh my goodness, what am I going to do now? But, okay, I'm just going to tell you what I was really thinking, okay? So I thought about that, and am I being punished? But there's a verse in the Bible that keeps going in my head. I said, "There's now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus." And that was the only thing that made me feel like, okay, you already said sorry. You've
Right.
been forgiven. Maybe there's a different reason why you're going through this. And
Yeah.
so after so many different ways of trying to get pregnant, we decided, okay, well, let's adopt. And every time we started meeting with a possible birth mother, I would always pray, Lord, if this is a perfect match, please let there be no problem.
Right.
But if this is not really for us, please make a way to make it stop, because I don't want to end up with a child who is not really for us, and it would be unfair for the child because I won't be able to give what the child needs.
Mm-hmm.
And so it took 2 years to finally find a match, and I am grateful for the daughter that we have right now, and she's almost 7 years old.
Oh.
Yeah, you know, you are a mom.
Yes.
You know what it is. It's not always sugar and
No.
it's not always nice.
No, it's a struggle. I have 2 girls. I totally understand. And they are like night and day. I
So it's not all nice
no.
feelings.
No.
So there's ups and downs, but I always know in my mind there was a purpose for the life of this baby, and she's entrusted to me for a reason, for a divine reason, and so that's my journey. And now, as I'm continuing this relationship with her, I want her to feel like it's safe for her to tell me when she fails.
Right.
Because I want her to feel secure that I will not abandon her or reject her if she fails.
That is so important, that validation. We never realize how important it is. And as I hear your story, it just, and it's funny because we're both from 2 different cultures, right? But it's interesting how there are parts of it that resemble the same. Like we were never taught to speak unless spoken to as a child, right? Again, your voice isn't heard, is not validated. You were there to just be. So when you were speaking, I was like, wow, that just sounds so much like my childhood right there.
Wow.
So, and that's why I share these stories, because it's like people don't realize, even though we're from different cultures, different parts of the world, there are parts that are resembling of one another, and it's heartwarming to see that you're not struggling alone, and you have not, even though the journey is different paths, the journey is still the same, and you're walking hand in hand.
Yeah.
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 I mean,
I think going through that ordeal, it's important to have at least one friend whom you can speak your mind with. You know, whom you can be authentic with, because it's so hard to just keep everything to yourself and keep everything bottled up.
Oh, I know.
And and I found that it was important to find something you can hold on to that's beyond you. You know, because we are not in control of everything that happens to our world or around us. We have to have something that we can hold on to that's stronger than us.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, that helped me a lot.
So now you, right? Now that you've had these steps you've taken and to be your authentic self, tell us about that.
Well,
who is Princess, right?
Well, I am just a person who just wants to help at a point, depending on where a person is. You know, we make connections depending on where you are. So I am very open as a person, and I just know when I need to connect. I just feel it. If the person, I have this weird thing where sometimes in planes or grocery or wherever in the park, somebody just opens up to me their innermost secrets. I don't know why. I'm just such a magnet. People feel just very, very relaxed, letting me know. It's like a confessional box.
Yes,
They
yes.
let me know.
I do know what you mean. It's happened to me quite often.
Yeah, and I just listen,
Mm-hmm.
and I try to feel what they feel and try to see things from their perspective. Sometimes people just need to be heard. I don't have to say something that's amazing. As long as they just feel that they are heard, it helps a lot.
It does.
So, yeah. So right now, I just want to be someone who people can trust.
Hmm.
That's that's my goal for now,
That's a great goal.
and I hope I'm able to help not only my family but other people, even strangers, um, to help them find the light or where they would like to go,
Right.
or find some light in the darkness,
Mm-hmm.
or some comfort of some sort through their pain. Because I've been through pain. I know how it is. I've been in the dark. I know how it is. And I'm hoping that I can be of help.
Mm-hmm. So, your journey, and I know the journey
Mm-hmm.
is still continuing because we're growing
Mm-hmm.
and we are constantly evolving, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What what steps did you take to get to this point? I mean, like as I said, you're still going, and there's still those
Mm-hmm.
hills and things that you have to get through. And I mean, you're
Mm-hmm.
raising a little girl, so you're still
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
You have a lot of
Yes.
growth there.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, so how okay, so first, what steps did you take? Did you seek counseling? I know you spoke about a little bit about the spirituality piece and the connection of
Mm-hmm.
something greater than you
Yeah.
that helped that you
Yeah.
had to hold on to help lift you.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
and the friend, right? Finding that one
Mm-hmm.
person that
Mm-hmm.
you can confide in and
Mm-hmm.
be your authentic self with.
Mm-hmm.
But is there
Mm-hmm.
anything else? I mean, what else did you do?
Um, at some point, I went to see a therapist,
Mm-hmm.
um, and that helped because I found someone whom I felt like I can be transparent with without any fear of rejection or being judged, or uh, my stories going on the headlines of a newspaper. Uh, so I found someone I trusted,
Right.
and someone who was not involved in the situation.
Mm-hmm.
And for a time, I was on medication, and that helped. But at some point, I had to stop the medication because as an actor, it's hard not to feel.
Mm-hmm.
And so, apart from that, I also I did a lot of thinking.
Okay.
Okay, what did I do in my life? What were the wrong things that I did in my life? And I had to learn to accept mm, whatever I did and own up to it. And yes, and acknowledge that yes, I did that. And that was wrong. And now, how can I move forward? Because apart from accepting and taking responsibility for the things that I did wrong, I can't move forward. And so I thought about what I did and then how I could move forward. And I also started writing a diary.
Oh, okay.
When I started when I was a teenager,
Mm-hmm.
and then now I write my prayers on. I made an email that's just just for that.
Mm.
What happens is that at the end of the year, I look through my entries
Mm-hmm.
and I see the paths that I've been on and what my needs were and what things got solved, and I see my progress,
Ah.
and that really helps me a lot. Seeing that, oh, my life moves forward and my life isn't. I wasn't stagnant. I grew in these areas, and um, yeah. So there's that, and I don't know what else. Yeah, but more or less that's what I did to get to where I am today. I just learned to accept myself,
Yeah. And
and
forgiveness.
yes, and forgive not only myself but also the people who have caused me pain. I just
Yes.
had to accept the fact that sometimes that's that's what they know,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the best they could do. People are not perfect, and I just had to accept that and move on.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, how is the connection with you and your husband and the communication? Because I know we've been in this pandemic and
Mhm.
things have really
Yeah.
changed everyone's life for better or for worse for most. And
Uh-huh.
how you are authentic at home with your husband,
Uh-huh.
right? He knows you in and
Oh
out.
yes. 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 He knows everything about me. And I tell him what whatever's in my mind, and it's a good thing that he is a person whom I can speak with, and it's so easy to speak with him. I appreciate that he he is who he is. I am very comfortable with him. Uh, so he knows me and he accepts me for who I am.
And I that's why I mentioned it because we talked about all the outside entities that help us maintain ourselves, but it's really important that the person that sees us day in and day out allows us to be our
Mm-hmm.
authentic self and is our
Mm-hmm.
safe haven.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, I
Yeah.
often call my husband my peace, my solace,
Mm.
because I can be me with him.
Yeah.
All my crazy,
Yeah.
quirky indecisiveness that I am,
Mm-hmm. Mm.
I know that he's going to love me unconditionally,
Yeah. That's important. Yeah.
right? And I say that out loud into the community and also have you share that because that's a piece that a lot of people are missing because when they come in to
Mm.
their home, they shut themselves off and become this whole different person instead of shedding
Mm.
it should be opposite, right?
Yeah. 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 It's true. Yeah. It's really different when you know that you can be real inside your home and you don't have to pretend like you're somebody else in the comfort of your own home. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's empowering to know that you can be who you are, where you are.
Yes. Yes. And
Mm-hmm.
and that's why I wanted to say that and mention that you're not doing this alone. Yes, your husband is a part of this journey too, along with your
Mm-hmm.
daughter, and you're
Mm-hmm.
teaching her such great traits. It's we're definitely teaching our children different than what we had, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And and,
Yeah.
and that's the goal. So, you, what's next for Miss Princess?
I don't know. I just go from day to day. It's hard to plan, especially during this pandemic. I learned that it's hard to plan.
Mm-hmm.
But uh, I would like. I know my gifting.
Mm-hmm.
I know my gift. Um, and I know what I want. So my priority, of course, is my family. I'd like to be a better person, a better wife, a better mom.
Mm-hmm.
And what feeds my soul is my creativity. I want to keep acting. Maybe someday I'd like to produce. There's so many stories that need to be told, and I'd like to um, use media to not only to inform and educate, but also to empower and encourage.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe someday I want to be able to do that through media.
Wow. I look forward to seeing a project. Um, Hopefully, be a part of a project. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I really appreciate that because that's so much that we need out there in the media, especially since that's how we get to reach the communities at large. Which, like I told you, this is
Mm-hmm.
why I started the podcast, is because I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
reach um, others and encourage
Mm-hmm.
others.
Mm-hmm.
So, definitely, definitely that I can see you doing that. And as I shared in the beginning, you have such amazing passion that it just emanates from you when you talk, when you are in a speaking role, and it's just amazing. It's I can see your authenticity and for things that you are in and that the passion that comes out. And I haven't seen the yellow rose yet, but I'm going to see that. Okay.
Okay. I would
um,
love for people to see that.
well, I heard it was great, and as I told you, I'm finishing my doctorate and trying
Mm-hmm.
to be an actress and trying. When I tell
Oh
you
my
my
goodness, you're
hands are in
juggling.
a lot of things, they're in a lot of things.
Yeah.
So I really haven't had a chance to sit down and really do anything
Mm-hmm.
fun.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
But definitely, definitely, um, I appreciate you so much. I appreciate you sharing a part of you. And you know what? Um, I I don't know. You are just like I said. We have different cultures. We come from different parts of the world, and if we can just everyone can just see that we're all human and we all have struggles, and
Mm-hmm.
we can help each other and
Mm-hmm.
just be humans to one another.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. It's like if we acknowledge that, if we accept the fact that every person is going through something, kindness will be a big deal. I mean, if we can be kinder to other people, it will be a great help.
It would. It would.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate you so much, and I appreciate you spending your time with me today. I really do. And I'm going to say this out on the air here. Um,
Mm-hmm.
my friend Trish and Lola, my Lola, I call her my Lola. Um,
Mm-hmm.
they love you. Okay.
Oh,
I
thank you.
yes, I told because I shared the movie, and I think Lola actually watched it, and she's like, "Oh, I you know her?" I was like, "Yeah, she's in class with me," and she just went on a tangent. I was like, "Okay, Lola." She showed me all these. She's like, "Look," I was like, "Okay."
Oh,
She's like,
thank
"She's
you
really
so much, Diane.
you're welcome." She's like,
Say
"She's
hi
really
to them for
popular."
me.
She's like, "She's really popular in the Philippines." I know. I was like, "Okay, Lola." Um, I
Oh,
love people. I love. culture, and I love
Mm.
learning about other people and their culture. And I always
Mm.
tell people, if you can get friends from other places, it makes your life that much richer because you
Yeah.
learn
Yeah.
so much from each other,
Yeah.
right? Um,
Yeah, yeah, it helps so much in our growth when we see things from other people's eyes and perspective. Because my opinion will always be different from another person, depending on where they came from or what their journey has been. So we
hmm
learn from each other. We do.
We do, we do. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah. So my Filipino sister says hello, and my Lola says hello.
Hello.
um, so thank you, thank you, thank you. I just wanted to share that with you because and share it on the air so when she hears it, she can say, "Oh my gosh, she said hi to me."
Oh, hello, Lola. Trish.
They were so funny. She goes, "My mom loves you more than she loves me." I said, "I can't help that. I'm great." Lola just knows who's better. Lola knows I'm better sister than you are. There. No, it's really great. It really is. They make me pancit and lupia and
Ooh.
yeah.
Ooh.
So my husband eats really well.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to share that. That's awesome. See, and you
Thank
know,
you.
it's really wonderful, and hopefully we can get together at some point in reality
Yeah. Are you
outside
here
of
in
Zoom,
California?
right? Outside of Zoom and things. And
Yeah.
I have family out in California, so we do get out there. So once we're able to
Mm.
travel freely without
Mm-hmm.
restriction, I would
Yeah.
definitely love
Yeah.
to meet you, your family, and kind of
Yes.
just hang out and just be real people,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I would love that.
Right?
I would love that. Yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. God,
Okay.
I love talking to you. You're amazing. And I can just
Oh,
talk to
thank
you
you, Diana.
for always.
I wish you the best, and I hope you get to meet more people from other diverse communities and have good conversations with them too.
I
Thank you.
thank
Thank you for
you.
having me.
Thank you so much for being a part of the Soulful Eclectic. We are so appreciative and we will definitely love to have you come back.
Sure. Let me know. Let's do that.
Absolutely. What a great conversation I had with Princess. And oh my gosh, she is such a great friend, an amazing person. And I find such value adding her to my friends list, my sisters list, my, she's just cool. She's just a cool person. And I value her and what she brings to my life. And I hope that with our conversation, you were able to see other parts of her as a human being, as a mom, as a daughter, as an actress, and just as a person, and how the struggle is to be your authentic self is just not limited to one individual and one person struggle. We are all struggling to be who we should be or who we see we should be, and it's a journey. And as you see, everyone's journey at some point, if we were to walk these paths and these journeys together, our paths will cross because no matter where you are in the world, who you are in the world, and what your ethnic cultural background is, you will find a common ground with one another. And it's that common ground that should unite us to be kinder to each other and just find value in one another. And I want to say that I find great value in all of my friends, stateside, international side, anywhere and everywhere, because I learned so much from my connections and my friendships with so many different people that I think it makes me a better person. So, yeah. And I take those relationships and I build on them and in my profession and growing into the going and growing the community and being able to interact with different people. And I think that's where it all really really shows how helpful it is to have those connections with people. And so thank you again, Princess. I appreciate you. And if you have not subscribed to the page yet, those of you listening, please do. I look forward to your feedback. The feedback that I've been getting has been amazing, so please keep it coming. And if you have any questions, want to connect with me, want to be a guest on the podcast, feel free to send me an email at to dc at thesoulfuleclectic.com, or you can reach me on Facebook, DC the Soulful Eclectic, and also Instagram, the Soulful Eclectic.com. No .com, just Soulful Eclectic. So thank you so much again. I appreciate all of you. Please take care of yourself and each other, and check in on your friends and your neighbors, even if it's just a check to say, hey, how are you? All right. A phone call, a text message, a Facebook, whatever. Just check in on one another and see how we're all doing. Love you guys. Namaste.